Let's finish cutting all the materials for this cabinet.
So the way I have this set up, this panel here is going to be flush on this side, and it's going to have a 1/4 inch offset on this side, because this side will butt up against another cabinet. This side's going to have the wainscoting on it. In order to calculate how far I need to go, I need to just take this 15 inches here, subtract a 1/4 inch off of it for that offset, and that will get me from the outside of this panel to the outside of this panel. So then what I need to do is I need to subtract the remaining material that was left over on these dados, multiply that by 2, because since there's 2 dados remaining materials, and then that will get me the width of this. Because what I'm doing is building the smallest cabinet first, if I cut the bottom panel a little too wide, it won't be that big of a deal, because what I can do is I can simply snug it up and continue to trim it up. If you're not dadoing and you're just butting right up against this, then the dimensions are a lot easier. But since I've got that dado to add that extra stability for the bottom shelf, it creates a little bit more of a complex math problem. Overall, it's the exact same as what I did with the upper cabinets. Dado is the same depth. It's just I have to do it now on a much bigger piece of plywood for the bottom shelf. It is indeed square, so that's good. So this is a perfect 90 right here, which will save me some time, and I won't need to square it. Now what I said is this dimension here needs to be 13 3/4. That gives me 2 options. I can turn my rip fence right now and cut this at 13 3/4, or I can cut this the depth that I need to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut that first, so I have this material left over in order to do, like I said, those runners at the top front and top back of the side panels to allow the countertop to be screwed down or fixed down to the cabinet. So in order to determine how far I need to go, quite simple, what I need to do, that panel needs to be as wide as it is from this front edge to the back edge my rabbet is, because I don't want to go into that rabbet because the back panel is going to go there. So that is 23 inches. It should be really easy to figure out, because this is 23 1/4 all the way to the back, or a 3/4 inch face frame up here in front, and a 1/4 inch back panel. So 23 inches will result in the length that I need to make that. And now I'm going to cut that other panel so it's 23 inches wide with the grain, so that my grain goes out like this, following a smooth transition, not front to back but side to side. Now the width of this should be 23 inches. I'm going to test fit it. With it flush here, it should be flush right here at the back of this. And it is flush at the back of this where this rabbet is, and it's flush here on top. So that piece is good. Now we just need to cut this so that it is the right length. Here what I want to do is I want 13 3/4, and I want to pick out the best side so that I know which side's the best. This side has that bad area right here, so I'm going to try to avoid using that if possible. So I'm going to measure from here over. This was my straight edge. I mean, both these edges should be parallel. And this is my factory cutoff edge. So what I want to do is I want to measure off this side here, 13 3/4 inches. So there's my 13 3/4 mark right here. I'm going to turn my panel like this, a little extra gap. So that's 13 3/4. So to make this easier, what I'm going to do is I'm flipping the cabinet up on its side so that I can get a good measurement. I'm actually going to rotate this guy around, I believe. I don't need to do that. But I'm going to dry fit this piece in here like this. Now my bottom piece here has slid down because it fell down into that dado, but that's fine. What I actually want to do is I want to take the face frame, put it on there, flush it up at the bottom on this side over here, and then as you see here, I've got just under 1/4 inch, about a 32nd of an inch. When I clamp it together, it should be fine. With that measurement done and complete, to get the side of the runners that basically are going to go across the top and in the front and back right here, All we need to do is measure the inside of here to the inside of there. Typically, since this is a 1/4 inch dado, should be 13 3/4 minus a 1/2 inch. So it should be 13 1/4. That leftover cut off piece of scrap, even though the grain is not going this way, if you remember right, manufacturer's sheet goods, each ply goes a different direction. So no matter which way it is, this is still going to be strong. It's just the veneer is going a different direction. I'm still going to use this for that top and back ledge support along the top of the cabinet for the front and back on that top edge. It's just the grain will be going the other direction. You'll never see that because it'll be above the face frame and it will be hidden by the countertop. Unless you actually get down inside the cabinet, pull the drawer out, you'll never see it. So I'm just going to use this piece. I'll cut this across at 13 1/4, rip it in half, and I'll have close to 3 1/4 inch strips for the top for the countertop. So with the exception of the back, I pretty much have all the pieces for my one cabinet right here. I've got the left and right panel. I've got the floor piece. I've got the 2 pieces that will basically run like this on the top from side to side, connecting it, which will allow the countertop to mount through here. I've got the 2 sides, are these 2 front and back pieces that will allow the sides to be mounted together so that the countertop can basically be screwed into this, and it adds extra structural support. And I've got the face frame. The only thing I still need to cut out for this particular cabinet is the back panel. For the back panel is measured from here to here, which is 29 5/16 for the height of the panel, but the width coming between the 2 sides, that's a really easy measurement. It's just simply this, because this fits right on this dado right here, which rides right on that. So all you have to do is measure from here to here to get the other back piece, which is 13 3/4 by 29 5/16. That will be my back panel. Following with my usage of scrap, this was a piece of scrap left over from doing the upper cabinets. As you see, it's much bigger than the distance I need. All we have to do, we want the grain pattern going up and down, the same as the sides of the cabinet. So what I'll do is I'll cut this to 29 5/16 high, and I'll cut across 13 1/4 inches to once again maximize my yield out of this piece of wood. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rip this 13 1/4 down to here, and I'm going to shut the saw off, reset the fence to cut my other dimension across there, and I'll end up with like L-shaped piece. But then if I need to use this extra piece here for anything, I can, or if I need to use this whole piece right here for anything, I can. So this is what I was meaning by I'll have this as leftover stock. It gives me more options. I can take it from the full length here if I need a strip that big, or I can take it all the way across here if I need that. And then here's the back panel of this cabinet. So the bottom, the top stringers between the front and back will need to be sanded, as well as the back. And after that, this cabinet is ready to be assembled.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.